A. Smith Show starts right now.
Welcome to the latest edition of the Stephen A. Smith Show, coming at you as I love to do every weekday over the airwaves of ESPN Radio on ESPN Radio and ESPN News. Number to call up as always is 888. Say ESPN, that's 888. Say ESPN, 888-729-3776. You are listening live to the Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio, ESPN News, Sirius XM Channel 80. Plus 250 plus markets across the United States of America on an AM, FM dial. Check your local listings. All that and more, plus the live national television airways of ESPN News. Number to call up as always is 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. For my producers looking at me, I pulled the plug out of my ear because there was a big echo in my ear. You hear me repeating myself over and over again. That's why I can't hear y'all right now. I had to take that out of my ear. The Stephen A. Smith Show on ESPN Radio and ESPN News is being brought to you by mycomputercareer.edu. Training for a better life. Time for Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Lots of stuff going on today. First order of business. Biggest story in the NFL right now. Could be one or two things right at this moment. Could be one or two things. One is Daniel Jones, rookie quarterback for the New York Giants, who showed up in Tampa and showed out last night, or yesterday afternoon, rather, in a come-from-behind victory by the New York Giants, or Baker Mayfield and the Browns falling to the reigning, defending NFC champion Los Angeles Rams. Either story, pick your poison. Pick what's the bigger one for you. I'll just take it in the order I choose to on this particular day. Daniel Jones, for the New York Giants, showed up last night or yesterday afternoon, and I got to tell you something. Kid was impressive. Kid was absolutely positively impressive. There is no way denied. To be down 28-10, to bring the Giants back, outscoring Tampa Bay 22-3, up before Tampa Bay kicked the field goal. To do what he did yesterday, you just can't say enough. You can slice it any way you want to. You can't say enough. Daniel Jones, rookie quarterback out of Duke, 23 of 36, 336 yards, 2 touchdowns, not a single interception, sacks 5 times, didn't matter, showed toughness, showed accuracy, showed athleticism. We got a new quarterback in New York. We got a new quarterback in New York. We can deny it all we want to, but I'm going to tell you something right now. If you are a quarterback who can throw the football, whether it's stationary, leaning forward, falling off of a back foot, throwing on the run, and oh, by the way, you show the ability to run, I think it's fair to say that Eli Manning's era in New York as the starting quarterback has come to an end, barring an injury to Daniel Jones. Barring injury, Eli Manning's career as a starting quarterback in the New York, in New York, New Jersey, with the New York Giants is over. No disrespect to Eli Manning. We're not engaging in hyperbole here. But when you are a young quarterback with fresh legs, when you are a young quarterback with the ability to run, I mean, this is a guy, Daniel Jones, that scampered for not 1 but 2 touchdowns. He threw 2 touchdowns, ran for 2 others. That was Daniel Jones. Had 4 carries, 28 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's what he did. And if you're Daniel Jones, if you're the New York Giants, And you look at what Daniel Jones did yesterday. What is there to talk about? First of all, let's give props to Pat Shurmur. This is the guy that went to GM Dave Gettleman, that got Dave Gettleman to join him and go into ownership and saying Eli Manning's days as a starting quarterback needs to be over. We need to go in the Daniel Jones direction. They're 0-2 on the season. Their defense stinks. Everybody knows that the New York Giants supposedly were on a path to nowhere. And what happened? Pat Shurmur said, excuse me, it's going to ride with me anyway. I'm the head coach of this franchise. Excuse me, let me go with this guy. This is the guy he wanted to go through, and credit to him. He wanted to go with with Daniel Jones to begin the season. He didn't even want Eli to start the season. But then to be down 0-2, with everybody talking about how the New York Giants were on a path to nowhere, he sat up there and said this season is not lost. We owe it to the rest of the team to put the best guys out there to give us the best opportunity to win. Daniel Jones goes out there and balls. Daniel Jones was sensational yesterday. You watched his throws, where he was putting the football. I can't say enough about what I saw from him. Sterling Shepard only had 2 receptions. I'm sorry, 7 receptions for 100 yards. Ingram, with that pass over the middle, and he scampered down the left sideline, showing speed that are usually reserved for wide receivers. This tight end for the New York Giants showed up, showed out. 6 receptions, 113 yards. Sterling Shepard, Odell Beckham, who? 7 receptions for 100 yards. He showed up. Darius Slayton showed up. He played well. And this is with Saquon Barkley going down with the high ankle sprain. So now we have to recognize this fact. And it's really simple. It's not complicated. The fact that Daniel Jones is a threat to move the chains with his feet, let alone his arm, automatically qualifies the New York Giants to never turn backwards towards Eli Manning again. My man Ryan Clark, NFL analyst extraordinaire for the family, pointed out something I thought very, very accurately. Nobody's saying he's better than Eli Manning yet. But I got news for you. What you saw from Daniel Jones yesterday, you've never seen from Eli Manning in his career. Eli Manning's never been able to move like that. Daniel Jones made those throws, but the real key was his ability, like the game-winning touchdown. Drops back to pass, Tampa defenders turn their back, he runs right up the middle, which, by the way, is inexcusable on the part of Tampa's defense, by the way. Because Daniel Jones had ran for a touchdown earlier in the game. You already saw what he could do. Why the hell are you turning your back? Why would you do that? What would you do that for? The man ran for a 7-yard touchdown that pulled the game within 12-10. Why would you turn your back on him when he's already shown you he can run with the football? Why would you do that? But that's what Tampa's defense did. That's what Todd Bowles' defense did. And as a result, he ends up scampering in for the winning touchdown. But even then, Jameis Winston drops back to pass, catches Mike Evans on a fly pattern. He catches the ball. He had about 190 receiving yards, schooling Janoris Jenkins all day long. Was not a good day for Janoris Jenkins. Make no mistake about that. Was not a good day for him. No way to slice it. Mike Evans, 8 receptions for 190 yards and 3 touchdowns. I don't want to put it all on Jenkins, but my God, every time Mike Evans was catching a pass, you were in the vicinity. Jameis Winston didn't have a bad game. 23 of 37, 380 yards, 3 touchdowns. By the way, Jameis Winston looks a hell of a lot better with Bruce Arians and Byron Leftwich coaching him as offensive coordinator than he ever did in the past. But Daniel Jones ended up stealing the day and got it done because obviously of a botched field goal at the end of the game for the Giants to seal a come-from-behind win. In the end, what we're talking about here is this. Daniel Jones looks pretty damn good because we've seen Eli make those throws before in his career. What we have never seen Eli do is run with the football the way Daniel Jones did yesterday. And the fact that you have a quarterback who's got size, arm strength, okay, and when I say size, I'm talking height to see over opposing defensive linemen and what have you, for him to have the ability to fling the throws, to make the NFL throws that he's required to make, plus have the wheels on him to move the chains with his feet, there's nothing to talk about with Eli Manning anymore. It's over. We respect him, two-time Super Bowl champion, two-time Super Bowl MVP. Likely will be going to the Hall of Fame one day, not because he deserves to be in the same room as the Tom Brady's would be, Peyton Manning, his brother, and others, but because when you got 2 Super Bowl championships and there's a Joe Namath in the Hall of Fame, I'll be damned if Eli Manning doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. But that's neither here nor there. That's a subject for another day. Daniel Jones stole the show yesterday. And now the Giants are 1-2. They're 2 games behind the Dallas Cowboys in the NFC East. They'll likely be a game ahead of the Washington Redskins in the NFC East after they were expected to lose tonight to Chicago. Assuming that happens, because Case Keenum has been playing. He's completed 69% of his passes. He's thrown 5 touchdowns, hasn't thrown a single interception on the year. Let's give him credit where credit is due. He's not the problem with Washington's offense. Their running game is. He's not the problem with coaching. That's Jay Gruden. But I will say this. There are a lot of people that are sitting up here today. My partner in crime on First Take, Max Kellerman, apologizing to Dave Gettleman, the general manager for the New York Giants. I ain't giving Gettleman no damn apology. Props to Gettleman and Shermer for picking their guy, Daniel Jones. All of that is true. I would remind everybody what the critique was when the NFL draft took place in Nashville a few months ago. If y'all recall, it was not that Daniel Jones could not play. It was not that he was some scrub or something like that. That was not the issue. The issue with the New York Giants picking Daniel Jones was that they passed on Dwayne Haskins out of Ohio State, who threw 50 touchdowns in one season for the Ohio State last year. That was the issue. And because Case Keenum's playing so well, we haven't gotten an opportunity to see Haskins yet in the nation's capital. To me, Gettleman and Shermer are only out of the woods with Daniel Jones if Haskins proves to be worse than Daniel Jones. If Haskins is better, you're still going to have people saying, what the hell you passed up on Haskins for? But we haven't been able to see him yet because Case Keenum's been throwing the football in the nation's capital, and the rest of us, as a result, have been forced to have to deal with that. But Daniel Jones deserves a whole lot of credit on this day. Congratulations to him. He was special yesterday. I think he's shown tremendous promise. I love the fact that he's in there instead of Eli. I had no problem with Shermer going with the change this early because guess what? Eli, it wasn't his fault that they were losing games. He just wasn't somebody that was going to enable you to win games. If Eli Manning was the quarterback yesterday, the Giants are not coming back from a 28-10 deficit. That's just the truth. That's just the truth. Daniel Jones breathed new life into the Giants' offense. As a result, their defense showed up and I thought played quite well in the second half. And they had a lot of energy. They were going after it. And I give them a lot of credit where credit is due. In the end, though, Daniel Jones stole the show. Congratulations to him. 888-SAY-ESPN. It's 888-729-3776. You are listening live to the Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio, ESPN News. Now let's get to the Los Angeles Rams versus the Cleveland Browns yesterday. Cleveland's up 6-3 at half. They ended up losing the game 20-13, got outscored 10-0 in the second half. Jared Goff, 24-38, 269 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I'm wondering about a couple of throws he made. Jared Goff, $110 million man in guaranteed dollars, shouldn't be making the kind of throws that he was making a couple of times last night. Todd Gurley, I'm wondering about him. 43 yards on just 14 carries. He's clearly not himself. He's clearly not himself. So we got that as an issue. Because I got news for you. Rams ain't going back to the Super Bowl without a healthy Todd Gurley. Let me just say that for the City of Angels right now, which is where I'm presently at. Let me say that right now. Rams ain't going back to no damn Super Bowl without Todd Gurley being healthy. Let me erase that dream before you even conjure it up during your REM sleep. Don't even think about it. It ain't happening. So that's an issue. We look at Cooper Kupp. Nice to see him back. 11 receptions for 102 yards. We look at Brandon Cooks. 112 yards on 8 receptions. That was nice. on the road in Cleveland, Sunday Night Football, no doubt about it, but that ain't the story. The story is how Baker Mayfield is looking. 18 of 36, 195 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, only complete 50% of his passes. That's relatively pedestrian, y'all. That's not impressive. Nick Chubb, averaged better than 4 yards a carry, had 23 carries. Maybe they should have given it to him a little bit more. Odell Beckham Jr., 6 receptions for 56 yards. Jarvis Landry, 3 receptions for 62 yards. Njoku, your tight end, is out, so obviously that hampered them to some degree. But I'm going to tell you what the real problem with the Cleveland Browns is right now. Just for everybody. Did I not tell y'all what the problem was going to be? Did I not say it? When you look at the Cleveland Browns, I'm going to tell you what their number one problem is. It ain't Baker Mayfield. It's Coach Freddie Kitchens. Now, kudos to him for sitting up there talking about blame me, don't blame anybody else, blame me, because that's what y'all going to do anyway. Seem to be preoccupied with people's opinion. Baker Mayfield, I know where y'all going with this, but, we just got to do. And once again, he's preoccupied with stuff like that. But here's the deal. This is your franchise quarterback. In his second year, you have to protect him. You have to protect him. Aaron Donald, who finally got a sack this season, went 5 games without a sack. The playoffs, the Super Bowl included, plus the first 2 games of the season, didn't have a sack. Aaron Donald made some big plays out of going after the quarterback, got a sack, got some pressures, stuffed the run on a couple of occasions. He's a monster. We know who Aaron Donald is. We know what he brings to the table. But let me be very, very clear. If you are Freddie Kitchens, you cannot have a situation where you got 6 pre-snap penalties in a game. Can't happen. Illegal motion. Odell Beckham Jr., 1 instance. I forgot who it was, the other. False starts on the part of your offensive lineman. Really? Didn't I tell y'all? First year head coach, second year quarterback. Did I not tell y'all? Everybody wanted to anoint the Cleveland Browns like they arrived. I told you it's going to be a work in progress. You're playing against grown men. Now, Myles Garrett is a grown man. He's something special. And when you look at his pressures and when you look at the 15-plus snaps he had last year or the 14-plus snaps that he had last year, I mean, listen, he ain't Aaron Donald, but he's next in line. This brother is special. And I love the potential that I'm seeing on the Cleveland Browns. No doubt about that. But I got news for you. They haven't arrived yet because coaching matters. Baker Mayfield scrambling about 10, 15, 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage, running for his life. That matters. Penalties galore. That matters. Undisciplined behavior. That matters. All of this stuff contributes to winning or lack thereof. And that is what has happened to the Cleveland Browns. I know how talented they are. I know what a threat they are. But to act like they've arrived, you all were premature. Like I told you you were. Even though there's no reason for me to brag, I thought the Steelers would make noise in their division, and now they're 0-3, so don't get me started with that. 888-SAY-ESPN, that's 888-729-3776. You are listening live to the Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio, ESPN News. One other thing. Over the weekend, or Friday rather to be exact, Antonio Brown, wide receiver extraordinaire for the Pittsburgh Steelers, then the Oakland Raiders, and now the New England Patriots, all in the span of the last 5 months, was unceremoniously released from the New England Patriots. Ladies and gentlemen, let me state for the record, I have absolutely no problem with this whatsoever. Antonio Brown brought it on himself. And I think anybody who defends him is a damn fool. Let's count the ways. You throw the coach, the brother, Mike Tomlin, under the bus. You reveal private direct messages from Juju Smith-Schuster just because he praised Ben Roethlisberger, never said a word against you. You turn around after that, you call my colleague Ryan Clark a sellout because, he came at you with truth. You get traded to the Oakland Raiders. You try some cryotherapy treatment in France. Your feet get messed up. You turn around after that ordeal is dealt with. Then you're complaining not once but twice with grievances against the National Football League because you want a particular helmet when they've given you 40 different options. Then you get fined because you took your helmet and went home and wouldn't show up to work a few times. And Mike Mayock, the general manager of the Oakland Raiders, perfectly within his right, fined you. So you approach him during practice and get in his face and threaten him and call him out of his name in front of teammates and Oakland Raiders personnel. You go home again. Then you're supposed to meet with John Gruden. You stand him up for dinner. Then he gets on the phone with you because his agent connects y'all on a three-way call, Drew Rosenhaus that is, and you reveal the conversation. You tape the conversation and put it over YouTube. And although you and your videographer, whoever the hell he was, said that you ultimately got permission from John Gruden, that was after the fact. While you were taping him, you didn't have that permission, which means you violated laws in the state of California. He could have pursued charges against you, but he didn't. You want out of your contract. You get let go by the Raiders as you requested. Once they let you know they ain't going to guarantee this year's salary because your behavior is too flagrant for them to ignore. You make sure that's videoed, acting like you're surprised when in fact you choreographed it to look like you just saw it before running in your backyard looking like a damn clown, talking about you free, waving your arms like you a bird freed out of its cage and let go. You get picked up by the New England Patriots. You sit up there and don something on social media with you in a Patriots uniform, animated that is, talking about how business is buzzing with dollars all over the place and how you with the New England Patriots, with everybody clearly talking about how y'all are the prohibitive favorite because how can anybody compete with the Patriots when you got Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, and you, arguably the greatest wide receiver in the game today. And in a span of 10 days, Sports Illustrated comes out with an article about a second charge against you. You get informed of that. The Patriots get informed about that. You are instructed to stay away from the accuser. And not only do you threaten her with tax, but you put pictures of her children on social media, forcing the Patriots to let you go. And then after you get let go, you turn around and call out one of the owners, which is Robert Kraft. Call out Big Ben Roethlisberger from his days in Philadelphia when he got charged with the crime, even though it really, he got accused of it, but he was never arrested, never charged, never indicted, but still served a 4-game suspension. And you call out Shannon Sharpe. Now, let me state for the record, ladies and gentlemen, Shannon Sharpe is for the other network. He works for Fox. But this notion that because you work for another network that you don't garner my respect, I don't know what world y'all living in. I got love for Shannon Sharpe. We ain't friends. We don't hang out, nothing like that. We're very cordial and cool with one another. When we see each other, I think he's great. He used to fill in for me when I couldn't make First Take years ago, which is why he ended up with my man Skip on Fox. Skip is my brother. Shannon Sharpe and I are very cool. He didn't deserve that. He didn't deserve that. Period. Now, I don't give a damn that he's on another network. You damn right I'm going to come to his defense. He did not deserve that. But these are all the things that Antonio Brown has done. Just in case there are those of you out there wondering why he don't have a job. And why chances are he ain't going to get a damn job anytime soon unless he commits to changing his ways. 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. You are listening live to the Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio, ESPN News. Back with your calls and more, and then some. Oh, I got a lot more to say. I'm hyped today, energizing my whole bit. And major props to my man, Jeff Brown, my buddy that lives out here in California. He got me trying this new breakfast. Got me feeling all energized and everything. Thanks a lot, bro. One love, baby. One love. 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. You're listening live to Stephen A. ESPN Radio, ESPN News. By the way, when it comes to hiring, you don't have time to waste. You need to get to your short list